You were telling me one time that you took a theater appreciation class, and one time you went to a play where you were chosen to be an actor, kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
It wasn't it a spelling bee or something?
So, I was in a theater appreciation class, and each week we went to a new venue, which had a new troupe doing some kind of performance, play. And it was cool because before that time, my familiarity with Portland was pretty much waterfront and northeast, because waterfront's where we rode Max to, and northeast is where my grandma lived. But before that, I didn't really ever travel around that much, because I was still going to PCC then. That was before I had college in PSU. And so that PCC Theater Appreciation class was cool because I got to drive all around Portland, and that's kind of what got me familiar with certain areas in Portland.
Things that you had never seen before.
Yeah. And so it was kind of cool every week. Every week was kind of a new experience, a new play, whether it was good or bad. Most of the plays I saw I really loved. Some of them were bad, but the experience was fun. And one of the final ones, if not, I think maybe that might have been the final one, actually, in that class, was this place it was called the Armory, I believe. And it was in, I want to say, northwest Portland. And it was a pretty big venue, and the play was the 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee, which is a pretty famous play, traveling play that goes around, and it's like a musical comedy. And when you walked into the venue, there was a little table, and you could volunteer to possibly be one of the people on the show. So I was like, well, hell yeah, that'll make this a fun experience. And basically, you would be a contestant on the spelling bee.
Yeah.
And of course, there were other cast members who were contestants, and then there was you. And a few minutes before the show got started, they called out a list of names, and I was one of the people. So they took us down under the stage, and they gave us kind of a rundown. And we got to use our same clothes. They didn't have to change our clothes or anything.
So just a very simple process.
And they gave us kind of a rundown, so we're going to sit you here, this is when you're going to come on, and this is where you're going to be placed. And then they kind of had some rules. So rules, they were like, no matter what you do, play it straight, you're going to be sitting here, they're going to be singing songs, and they may come up to you and acknowledge you or do something, just kind of go with whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to call you up sometime throughout the show as a contestant to do the word that they give you.
But don't ham it.
But whatever you do not ham it up, do not take away from the play. You are simply a small cog in a bigger machine that wants to be more entertaining than you. So I took that as, do not do that. Okay, well, I guess I will have to do that then.
You're such a dick.
Because that's just the kind of person I am. When your mom says, don't ever go to this channel late at night. I don't know why my mom would say that, but of course you were going to go to that fucking channel at that time of night,
I don't want you watching pornography, Benjamin.
Benjamin, you don't smoke that pot, and there I am with cocaine. That's not true, but
he's a rebel. Yeah. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm a rebel with all the causes. But so in my head I thought, what could I do? Well, whatever. So I didn't know the play ahead of time, so it was kind of funny being a cast member on it and kind of watching the play unfold literally around you rather than before you.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny, and I was playing it straight. And yeah, actually, believe it or not, I was one of the first contestants that were called up. And so they guided me to the front of the stage, and there was, I'm pretty sure there was at least, 11 to 15. There was a lot of people there. It was like a sea of people. It wasn't like
it was crowded.
100 people. It was a lot of people. And
how big is this venue?
It was pretty big. I don't know how many people it could hold, but there were hundreds and hundreds of people there. And
Kind of like an Elsinore theater sized.
Bigger, I think.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the spotlight is right in your eyes. And, they call me up, and I have my name tag, contestant like 17 or whatever. And they give me a word, and I don't remember the word. But I remember when I heard that word, I was like, fuck, I don't know the word. Like, I hadn't, but you could ask, use it in a sentence. And I used it in a sentence, and of course the sentence that they used it in literally did not tell, like, anything about what the word could even possibly be. And so I did my best to spell it, and I was wrong. And right when I heard, I thought, okay, Ben, this is your one shot. And it was like, dun, 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 this is your one shot. Do not lose your chance. This opportunity comes once in a life. You better do.
Eminem.
I heard Eminem. Yeah, I don't even know the words to that song. That's how cool I am.
You're so badass. You used it to invoke how badass you are.
And in my head, I was like, okay, what do you do? And I immediately, after heard the beep, I threw my arms open as Andy Dufresne did in Shawshank Redemption. I looked to the heavens, and I dropped to my knees and let out...
Platooned it.
I did this, just, yelp, scream, moan, like...
I bet they loved you.
And I made sure it was, extra long. I didn't want to just be like, oh. I was like... And I remember because I kind of closed my eyes. I closed my eyes to start because I was a little afraid of the repercussions. And I kind of remember when I realized I needed to continue doing the scream to make sure my 15 seconds were 25 seconds.
Did you actually count out in your head?
No, but I kind of and I looked around and I started just looking into the audience and I noticed everyone in the audience was laughing really hard. and I was like,
your big guy is looking around.
And at that moment, I thought, where could I go from here? And so naturally, I just fell on the floor and rolled a little bit while screaming.
You stole the show from the actors.
In my head, I just saw that stagehand that had been giving us those rules. Whatever you do, do not.
That's hilarious, but that was a fucking horrible thing to do. You're such a dick, but I laugh every time.
The best part is right after that, I could see them kind of trying to usher me off the stage back to a seat. And
did you start pounding your fist against the stage?
As soon as I got off the stage, my part was over, and I just saw everyone just looking at me, and I sat back in my seat with all of my classmates, and they were like, what the fuck was that? And I remember watching the rest of the play thinking, yeah, I'm badass. And the funny thing is,
did the stagehand find you after that?
They never did.
They were probably like, fuck that guy. Did you see the other actors, how they were reacting to when you were doing that?
No, I was lost. I was I was lost in its mind. I was literally I was blacked out. I blacked out. I gave 300% to that performance, and I didn't know what was going on around me. And I just remember after the show, I was in the lobby of the thing, and people just kept on I see people point at me from afar, and they're like, oh my god, look at that guy. And I walked outside, and I was like, man, it's too bad I didn't have a friend here. And Ryan Andrews, one of my friends from middle school and high school, I walked out. He happened to be there. And he was like, holy shit, I didn't know you were in this play. And I kind of told them oh yeah, I volunteered, blah, blah, blah. And
you tell them about how you broke the rule?
No, I don't think, it was kind of a passerby type thing, but yeah, so.
God.
If anyone knows that happened, it would be Ryan Andrews, which I'm sure he's probably forgotten by now, but It's pretty funny.
I don't know. That's pretty memorable.
It is. Actually, I've never talked to him about that since. I should.
I wonder if I could look it up online, if anyone like had a camera in the audience.
I don't know.
I used to be in this theater program. It's children's educational theater. I think it's for kids like 10 to high school age. And I was, just like today, I was a terrible actor back then. But I got to play, my first year, I played the Knight of Canoodle in the Insulting Princess. And it's basically a princess who has all these suitors, but she's too good for them all and turns them down until she meets, she has all these elite, like, there's a knight. That's me. I wore a clown nose for some reason.
You were the knight?
I was the Knight of Canoodle. There was like a prince, and there was...
Like, were you the knight in, like, if you stood in front of the moon, you would make everything dark? Because you're so fat? Or you were a knight as in, like...
I remember when my mom's friend pat you on the stomach and asked you how you're doing with your girlfriends. Anyway, no, I was like the jousting kind of knight, I think.
I was saying, if you stood in front of the moon, your abs would be so muscly, the moon would have no choice but to react.
I'm sure you were. No, but I was the Knight of Canoodle, and basically the plot was, I think so.
Canoodle.
It was either Canoodle or Noodle. It was Knodle. So either a silent K or not, but I don't know why they wouldn't just spell
Why
it.
are K's not silent?
Kmart.
I always thought it was Mart.
But that's a stupid joke. But anyway, she turns down all of these like princes and knights and what have you, and ends up finally this baker comes in and he calls her out on her bullshit behavior, and because he did that, she falls in love with him.
Wow.
And then I was a flying monkey. And the next year, the Insulting Princess play was the year 2000. And The Wizard of Oz was the big production that year. It was 2001. And I was a flying monkey, except for some reason they didn't want us to be strapped into harnesses. So we walked around the stage, like with these like semi-translucent shawls around our shoulders, and we pretended those were our wings, and we would flap them, but we weren't actually suspended in air.
You were supposed to be a flying monkey?
I was a flying monkey one year.
I mean, that's funny because you look like a gorilla.
Hey, don't say that. Someone might shoot me when I attack a kid, and it'll be controversial. But,
what could you be referring to?
Why? What could I be referring to? I'm referring to the incident at the Cincinnati Zoo where a gorilla attacked a kid and was shot.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah.
So, let's not go further with that.
Yeah.
But, controversial. But yeah, I was a flying monkey. I remember, I
was a flying monkey.
I remember, during the play, I'd be in one scene, we'd be on stage for one scene, and then we'd have to leave, and we'd have to run down this long hallway, and around and up a staircase and through another corridor to get back out on stage in time for our next scene. We had to hurry, but I couldn't run that fast, so I showed up late, and the other monkeys were already on stage, and suddenly the high school had like these big like metal doors with like the push pump, like the metal bars that you push, and I'm like suddenly in the middle of a dialogue scene, the audience probably heard and just me running up onto the stage, and I made it.
This is when you were like 21?
I was 11. But it actually fit because we arranged it so that my monkey was the comic relief monkey.
Oh. Was that what was arranged?
What
was so comedic about your monkey?
It wasn't that funny in hindsight, but when I was
it was just that it was fucking you, and you were in a fucking flying monkey uniform.
No.
It was because
it was. Excuse me.
Do you remember what you were like when you were then, Jeff? I've seen some home videos.
That was a couple years later. If you're referring to the
oh my God!
Yeah, my voice didn't drop. I'm sorry.
I'm on a chat.
Sorry.
He had like a little bit of a lisp, and also a little bit of flame going on. Oh my God, I'm a sip. I'm on a sip, guys. Look at me. This is my camera.
No.
Look at me, guys.
You might be shocked, but the flying monkey was not a speaking role.
Oh my God, I'm a flying monkey. I'm a flying monkey.
That's not quite how it talks. That's not quite. That's not quite how I talked. You exaggerate it quite a bit.
Please tell me how you talked then.
I can't recreate my voice.
Can you please try?
Well, think of the speaking pattern I have now, but make it higher.
Except with a little more flamboyant and a little more lisp. Think of the speaking pattern I have now. Except it's a little higher.
No, anyway, the way I was the comic relief is like every time the monkeys like would leave, I'd stay on stage for a few extra seconds and pretend I was picking fleas off my hair, and for some reason the crowd laughed.
I would have paid so much money just to see that. Oh my gosh, that would have been glorious.
Oh.
Because the funniest part is that, like, you already pick your head for fleas and eat them, so.
Yeah, funny. Then why would you want to pay to see that if I did that in real life?
Because it'd be funny to see, like, 11-year-old you do it, and then, like, smile when you realize people actually liked you. People like me, maybe I'll be an actor. They like me, they really like me.
If you want to see my acting skills in action, look up Ben Eastman's film Seabreeze.
Oh, God, yes. Your best performance in years.
I am the worst actor ever. It truly is a skill to be able to act, so to an extent I do respect actors. We tried some tea today.
Yeah, we did.
Ben found these huge bottles at Trader Joe's for like $1.70.
Yeah.
And what is it called?
Well, it's Tejava.
So it's either Tajava or Tajava.
Probably Tajava.
Tajava.
And
so it's Spanish tea or Mexican
premium iced tea. It says North American Tea Champion 2011 through 2014.
Wow.
And it even says 4 years in a row.
We tried it, and I like it quite a bit, actually. It
says pure Java or Java tea brewed from water and select Java tea leaves.
In the bottles, they're like $1.50, $1.70, and they look about the size of a bowling pin.
Yeah, the bottle, they're 1 liter. I mean, it's 1 liter for $1.50, but for really good iced tea, I mean, that's a...
It tasted, it had like a berry, I think, taste to it.
Oh, see, I didn't get that, but... You know.
Yeah. I'd try some more.
You know, I think, what's nice about it is I'm a big iced tea fan, but...
Oh, me too.
You know, when it comes to flavored iced tea, I'm very, like, particular with what kinds I like, and if they're not that kind, usually I don't try it. But when it comes to, unsweetened iced tea, I don't really have, like, one particular, like, way to go. I mean, I always really loved growing up my mom's sun tea that she would make. She'd go out early in the afternoon and put it outside, and by the time I'd wake up from my slumber on a day off or something, I would go out and grab it and fill a glass up with ice and go to town. It's pretty good stuff.
I love tea. I never knew Tivana was a thing until Zach Evers.
I've never been.
Zach Evers had to get a birthday present for a friend who was obviously celebrating her birthday, and he decided to go to Tivana to pick it up, and we were there a while. He looked through a lot of the flavors. There was a lot of samples, but I was very impressed. They have pretty much huge bins of everything, and you can either get them in a generic kind of bag type of thing, or you can get elaborate tins to put the tea in. But there's every flavor I could think of. They had and even stuff I wouldn't have thought of. They had chais. They had a whole bunch of different kinds, and everything was loose leaf. They didn't sell the bagged tea; it was all loose leaf, and it was.
So how do you have a special kind of device?
Yeah, you put it in a steeper. There's a metal cage. You put the tea in, and you dip it in water, and it turns it in. Or they have special other kinds of devices that you can pour it through, and you have tea. But it's if I went to Tivana, I'd probably use the Keurig cups to put tea in. I think it's probably about time we wrap this puppy up. But next time, hopefully, we'll have Mr. Alan Burrell here with us. We love having him. And it's not just us having him. He's part of this podcast, and unfortunately,
as much as he doesn't want to be.
Yeah. No, I think he's going to enjoy it, but grudgingly so.
Yeah.
But we'll try and have him back again on the show. He's been in most of them. Frankly, without Alan, we've lacked quite a bit of wow factor, wouldn't you say?
That's all, folks.
Oh, just end the closing conversation abruptly and not wind down.
That's all, folks.
This is Heavy Set